Okay, last and final part, I promise. So, the reasons why we decided over the year of dipping our toe back into going to Mormon church, after leaving the church, after having our records removed, after completely like dissecting and deprogramming from the faith. Okay, and yes, I've read the CES letter. I've printed it off and given it to friends. Okay, I know everything in the CES letter inside and out. I've done all the research. Okay, my husband and I were inactive for like 6-7 years before we decided to go back to church. And I think this is what I've come to. And I already kind of made this clear in my coming out video, which I'll tag down below. But I think we've recognized that a lot of the things that we hold as values and morals, just that we have figured out for ourselves without the church, reading spiritual books, going on a third eye opening journey, having a Kundalini awakening. I think I've realized that religions are here to help us grow closer to God, and one religion is not better than the other. They are all they all hold the same purpose, unless you're like a fundamentalist weird cult that's like actively abusing and like oppressing people. Okay, that's a caveat here, and I have to make that caveat because people want to try to say Mormonism is that, and it is not. Okay, I want you to think about Catholics, Protestants, mainstream Christians. Mormons are the same in that boat. Okay, and it's like people go to church based on their culture, based on their ancestors. I have pioneer ancestry going back decades. That is my grandmother's religion. That is a religion of my fathers, literally, my mother's and fathers. And it's my language I speak. It's the water I was baptized in, quite literally, and swam around in my whole life. It's what I know and how I feel close to God. It's my choice. And I'm sure Catholics feel the same way, that we're raised going to mass and raised with a rosary. And, it's similar to like, what's the tribe you were born into? Who are your people? That is what Mormonism is for me at this juncture. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to build on that. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to go deeper with my testimony, but this is my testimony as it is right now, and this is why we've decided to go back to church. So it's my tribe. It's my community. Like I said in my original coming out video, the secular world's a mess. I've lived out here for 6 years. You cannot tell me any different. 7 years I've lived in the secular world. The secular world is a mess. People don't treat each other well. It's selfish. It's narcissistic. A lot of it is matrixy, dark energy, dark spirit stuff that we have to deal with living out here. And people don't care about each other. A lot of people out here are really narcissistic, and they only care about themselves and what you can give to them. And when I lost like the big group around me that was my old group in the secular world, when I left Mormonism, like that was the biggest favor that could have ever happened to me, because me being stuck in that circle of friends kept me in that like literal hell. And that's what it was. It was like drinking on the weekends, distracting yourself from your life, not living your life's purpose, not being kind to other people, constantly comparing yourself to other people, like, trying to like always one up the person next to you, debauchery, being poor friends, being selfish. That was my experience in the secular world. And if you're out here in the secular world and you're not experiencing that, like what commune are you living in? Because I am convinced that religions hold people to a higher level of existence. They make people more loving. They hold them to a higher level of morality when it comes to other humans. There are service opportunities within religions. There are, opportunities for you to just every Sunday go and figure out and learn ways that you can become a better human being. Tell me why that is bad. Trust me, I love my fun day Sundays, okay? I remember when I got my Sundays back, I loved Costco. I loved going to like games. I loved doing all the things that I got to do, finally, because I didn't have to go sit in 3 hours of church. But it got old. And like truly, I missed having one day a week where I could commune with God. I could be close to God, and like I could figure out and learn and reflect on how I could be a better person. That's amazing. That's a good thing. This secular world needs that, especially in the direction that we're going. And I saw people lose their souls when they lost their faith. And I don't want to be counted among that. I feel like there is safety in your church community because it holds everyone to a higher standard. Does that mean that everyone's perfect and there's no judgment no judgmentalism or no like atrocities at church. Absolutely not. Like it's humans like socializing with other humans. It's humans creating structures. Of course it's going to be flawed. Of course there's going to be that because humans are that. Okay? So that is found in every organization, whether it's religious or not. So I choose to look at the good, and the good is that church holds people to a higher standard. There are opportunities for service in church. I miss that too. I remember the last 5 years at Christmas, my husband and I would be like, the last 2 years, I've only been married for 2 years, but like before that, I would be like, I want my kids to like do a service project for Christmas because they're so spoiled here in Orange County and like they have everything. And I want them to like see how other people live and like be able to help others. And I would be like looking up the Red Cross on my laptop, which is great for you. I love that. Do that, please. Let's honestly support these organizations that are trying to make society a better place. But within your church community, you have like at your fingertips organized service, organized ways for you to get out into the community and be a better person and build up our communities. It doesn't mean there are not flaws with the church. Of course there are. Of course, they're a $1 billion organization. And could they be giving their money to more charitable causes? Absolutely. But are they giving a lot of money to charitable causes? Yes. Are they offering opportunities for like people to get involved in their communities and build their communities from the inside out? Yes, you cannot deny that. So is it perfect? No, but is it doing good? Yes. So I wanted to be affiliated with that back again. I wanted to be in a community. I wanted to feel like I had a tribe. Like another amazing thing is like anytime you move or your kids go to a new school, they have an automatic tribe. They can sit with the Mormon kids no matter what. I raised 2 kids in the Mormon church. And you know what? When my kids would have friend problems, they always had a seat at the Mormon table. They always had a seat with other Mormons. Were other Mormons perfect to them? No. Did they cry sometimes and have heartbreak over, Mormons not treating them kindly? Of course. But trust me, the other kids outside of that table are far worse. I'm just going to say it. Like the secular world out there, the way that kids treat each other at school is horrible. I'm going to say it. The way adults treat other adults is horrible. So I would rather have my kids hanging out with other kids that have a higher standard of like morality and kindness. They are held to a higher standard. Every Sunday they go to church and they learn about how to be better kids, how to be nicer, how to be more honest, how to be more loving. Do they always 110% like effectuate the things they learn at church? No, of course not. They're human. But like, are they a little bit better off maybe than the kid next to them that never hears these things, that has narcissistic parents who are telling them they never do anything wrong and they should be able to treat the kid next to them poorly because they're amazing? Absolutely. I think that being friends with people that have higher standards for themselves will always pay off in dividends, whether you're a kid or an adult. So those are my opinions on why I'm going back to church. And I know I get like passionate about it, but I know the other side and I know the arguments of the other side. When I posted my coming out video, somebody came in my comments and like literally shamed me for going back to church. Like, wait, you're shaming me for wanting to be a better person and wanting to have higher standards and morals for myself. Really? Like that's where we're at in today's society. So anyway, I have a lot of other reasons. And if you are yourself going back to church, if you yourself are like deconstructing Mormonism, maybe you're dipping your toe back into organized religion, follow me. You may be able to relate to some of my stories. And I would love to hear from you in the comments. I've heard from some other people that are kind of dipping their toe back into Mormon church as well. And it's been so encouraging for me to know that there's other people out there. So I totally welcome your comments. Even if you want to like shame me for going to church and wanting to be a better person, you're welcome here too. Because I was you. I remember and I know exactly how you feel. You're entitled to your opinion. And I welcome everyone here.